I'm 18 years old, 17 at the time. Myself and my two best friends Joey and Gus were spending the night of the 4th of July at Joey's house. Joey lives in the rural area of Illinois, and due to this, we would all rather spend time out there where his dad throws an enormous party every year. Fireworks in Illinois are illegal, but out there in the cornfields, it's fair game. So we can shoot off fireworks, bottle rockets, firecrackers, anything, you name it. The day started off early with a parade in the small town. Joey, Gus, and I all attended it. It's lame, I know, but it's our tradition. Before the parade is all over, we decided to walk back to Joey's house to take advantage of the warm summer day that we had. 85 degrees and sunny, what more could you want? There is a long and steep hill we had to walk down to get to the parade, so in preparation to walk back up the hill, we have a dusty old red wagon that we use to hold drinks and other snacks for the parade. We throw all the drinks and food back into the wagon and lug it up a hill and make our trek back home. As I previously mentioned, we live in the rural part of Illinois, so the corn here is plentiful. My friend Gus is always the type to fuck around when it's just our little group, so when Gus runs into the cornfields and disappears, we think nothing of it. Joey and I are bullshitting around with each other as we continue our long walk along the hill. Suddenly, we both remember the abandoned home and barn right through the corn and think, is Gus going to check it out? All by himself? That wouldn't make any sense. Seconds later, Gus pops back up yelling towards us, and I naturally ask him what's up. He responds saying, man, we definitely gotta explore that tonight, it looks wild. We all agreed as we have been planning on it for years and we are older and more responsible now, so why not? As we trek back home, we discuss the plans of how we'll get over there without anybody from the party knowing we went astray. Joey tells us that around the time we do the fireworks we can leave because it'll be late enough and everybody will be distracted by the big fireworks show. We all nodded in agreement. The day continues as normal, jumping into the pool, participating in games, helping with the cookout, and overall it was just a terrific day. The day continued to be bright and sunny, and when nightfall came it was no different. We watched the sunset on Joey's trampoline while the other partygoers were playing bags, swimming, and blasting music, just overall having a good night. Joey's dad came up to us and asked if we were ready to do fireworks, and considering the sun was falling fast, we said why not. He gave us each a few fireworks to set off, so of course we were the first ones to do so. As we started the trend, the rest of the fireworks were getting ready to explode, and we rushed back into Joey's house to grab flashlights and water for our journey. Likewise to the parade, the abandoned house was still very close, so we didn't have to go far. As we walk down the street and make our way to the middle of the cornfield, the moonlight is guiding us. The moonlight is guiding our way. As we made it past the corn and grass, we stumbled into the barn, with a small crescent moon above us. The barn was a tad bit smaller than expected. It was rusted at the steel bars and was also badly faded from years and rain and nobody paying attention to it. The door had a huge gash through it with a broken lock, signifying someone else had already been there at some point. As we entered the barn with flashlights in hand, we didn't expect much, and we were right. All it was an empty barn with hay scattered all over the ground and an empty base. Not a single stable in sight, so we exited as soon as we entered. But moving on to the house, it was a different story. Most of the windows to the house had been boarded up. The grass was almost to my knees and the front door was barely holding on to the hinges. As we swung the door open, pop! Fireworks from the party are still exploding, and not going to lie, all of us jumped back in fear and nearly out of the house when that firework exploded. As the fireworks lit up the sky, we got some flashes of bright light as the entire house lit up through the light coming through the front door. As we explored the house, there was hardly any furniture, or for that matter at all, anything interesting. Although, very surprisingly, graffiti was littered all over, as I guess other kids around the area had the same ideas prior. As the pops became more frequent, the bangs became even louder. And no, I'm not talking about bangs from the fireworks, or any of my friends. The bangs sounded metallic, as if someone was banging on a washing machine. Naturally, we were all freaked out, and Joey and I wanted to leave. Gus started laughing, and due to Gus always wanting to fuck around, we thought that he was trying to play a joke on us, to keep us in this creepy old house. But flashback, speaking on the history of the house, Joey's dad knew the guy who lived there. He was an older man who inherited the land due to his father's passing in the mid-90s and grew up on that farm with his wife and 2 kids until his son died on the farm due to a malfunction with the farming equipment. After that tragedy, the man and wife decided to flee the farm as their other son grew to resent them, blaming them for the accident. Many people in the area always liked the man and his wife, but there was always a popular belief that he ended his son's own life. Joey's father used to have the man over for parties and other special occasions until the man and woman both left town unexpectedly and left the land to rot for years. No one ever knows why they left town. Did they leave town because they caused their son's death? Or did they just do it to get away? Knowing that though, we believed Gus was just playing a trick on us. As we further explored the house, Gus swore up and down that he wasn't making that noise. Joey stumbled across a door with a big red X spray painted on it from earlier explorers. The sounds of fireworks grew distant and the metallic bang kept echoing louder, and as Joey opened the door, we all froze. Sitting in the chair, in the middle of a shaky, old, run-down house, was a disheveled man in his mid-30s, black jeans, black hoodie, and wearing sandals in the 80-degree summer heat. He looked up at us while banging a stick-like object against a large supported pole in the middle of the room and started laughing. As soon as the man smiled and laughed, we all burst out the room screaming. Sounds of the man charging us felt amplified from behind, but just like that, the sounds of the metal stopped. The fireworks show was all over, and the silence of the night was all we heard when we made it past that front door. We all ran out the house and back to the street where the party was able to be seen from the end of the block. In almost 3 minutes we made it back due to our fight or flight responses. No one had noticed that we slipped away into the night, but we were all shaken. When Joey's dad came back inside, he was wondering why we were all done for the night. He could tell something was wrong, but there was nothing to explain it. Neither me nor my friends believe in ghosts, and even after the situation, I don't. But to also believe a random man in his mid-30s would be sitting all alone in an abandoned house on the 4th of July would just seem so far-fetched. I don't know who that was, why he was there, or what his intentions were, but a tradition that we've had every year since we were young have been some of the best memories of our lives, but also home to the most terrifying night of our lives. We'll be spending the 4th of July at Joey's house again this year, and who's to say that man or thing is still sitting out there this July 4th.